Hey guys, we have had multiple people ask why would these hedge funds and these short whales let you get away with this? You sneaky kids and your dog too. Well, let me tell you a thing or two about what Maggie Web Design wants us to look at. New mind-blowing DD on super stocks. Why are we trading sideways? Why is the borrow rate so low? When we moon the theory of everything GME? Hey, if we haven't had a pleasure to meeting yet, my name is Andrew, and here we're going to talk about that exact same DD. You guys will know that we are bringing you the meat and potatoes first, and I want to answer that question. Why would anyone be caught at the other end of this gun, at this squeeze rocket? Essentially, you're pointing the rocket in your face and letting it blow up if you are a short hedge fund or anyone selling these contracts for us to be able to gamma squeeze together. So let's say that we can actually answer this question first. I saw a super, but I'm going to cover it in just a second. Let's go all the way down to the Q&A. This is all too fantastical. Why would they cooperate? Number 1, 2, and 3 reasons why. 1, you are the short hedge fund. You know you're done for. What do you want? Right? Incentives, perspective, everything important that we've covered in the past. The short hedge funds want some legal cover from lawsuits, time to hide your assets, some slim chance to survive. Your leverage is that you can put your hands in the cookie jar right now if you start covering, because you can access OCC member contributions before you're liquidated, but you are going to get yourself sued without any legal cover. That's number 1. Number 2, you are a non-defaulting member. What do you want? A short hedge fund's tendees at a discount, and you don't want short hedge funds to touch your member contributions to shared funds for their mistake. Essentially, an innocent member of the money cartel that we call the DTC, right? If you haven't done anything wrong, but you're still going to be hurt by the new DTC rules that say essentially everybody pays for Uncle Joe's margaritas. Uncle Joe is Melvin and Citadel, and he's been racking up the margarita bill, and soon we're not going Dutch anymore. We're actually going to split the bill down the middle, even if you didn't have a single margarita, a single manipulation of the markets. So right now you are also going to have this incentive. What good is it for non-defaulting DTC and OCC members if GME goes up, but Citadel and GME shorts use your funds to pay for the default? You also don't want the entire market to crash and your portfolio to go into the red. There's double reasons why this innocent member of the DTC cartel doesn't want this to go bad. And then finally, you are the SEC. What do you want? You want this whole event to be over. Okay, so once again, those are the 3 perspectives here. Let us go back and actually give it the time of day. I'm going to skip through a little bit of the mumble jumble and only give you the ape. Too long didn't ape. Too ape not long enough. We're going to give you guys the short version to make sure that you fully understand. The only thing that I ask in return is a quick like on this video so that more apes can find out and we defeat that YouTube algorithm together, and a subscribe, because we're on our way to 100,000 and we would like you to join us on the way to Tendy Town. It really does help out a lot, and away we go. Over the last few weeks, they have had some anomalies that have been bugging all of us. They've been trading sideways for a while now within a narrow range. Number 2, the borrow rate on such a volatile stock is ridiculously low. Number 3, the volume has seemingly dried up. Number 4, it does not appear that shorts have covered. Number 5, the SEC seems to be sitting idle on their hands. And number 6, we see the deep in the money calls and FTDs, so DTC and OCC must also see this because their systems are clearing these trades. Okay, too long didn't read. We already have it directly in front of us. The answer is actually really simple. There is no single long whale. DTC, OCC, and SEC are collectively the long whale, bending the rules to keep the price stable for now. On January 28th, they saw what happened and saw the systemic risk of that GME shorts could pose, so they allowed RH and Citadel to bend the rules. Otherwise, it would have impacted all DTC and OCC members. In response, DTC issues 004 and 801 and 004 and SEC SR-DTC 2021-004, OCC issues SR-OCC 2021-801, and SR-OCC 2021-004, which firewall members from defaulting members and allow orderly liquidation of defaulting members. We've covered these all in the past. Essentially, it's how to kill a hedge fund. They wanted to basically say, here is how we are going to decorate your tombstone if you do lie to us or continue up these risky activities. So here's the answers. Why are we trading sideways? Contrary to popular conjecture that Citadel is using a short ladder to suppress the price, they believe that DTC and OCC members who are not exposed to GME short positions are working together to suppress the price within a narrow, stable range. The reason is not because of max pain. The reason is to wait for the firewalls to be in place. Price volatility can easily cause this to launch before DTC and OCC members are ready. They know that retail is largely tapped out, obvious, by lack of volume, unless sudden volatility draws in more retail buyers that will move the price faster than they can control. So who is suppressing the price? The non-defaulting members of the DTC and OCC collectively to protect their assets from defaulting members. Shorts are buying the deep in the money calls to carry their FTDs. Non-defaulting members are laddering up and down to maintain the price stasis. So essentially, we've already talked about how the cyclical nature of the deep in the money calls are now finally being called into question as they stop doing that from 005. And that is the new regulation that allows us to be able to control this nonstop, ever-ending, infinite short glitch. Why is the borrow rate so low? Right, we've talked about that graph that has a logarithmic y-axis of just how much higher the borrow rate should be compared to how much of the stock is available to borrow. And TCAT is all the way up here on the y-axis, and for GME, it's almost the exact same availability as TCAT, and with less than 1% borrow rate. So DTC and OCC members, as well as large institutional shareholders, are collaborating with the SEC's approval to suppress the borrow rate to keep the current price stasis. The price stasis is important to hold the line until 004 and 801 are in place, which establish liquidation and order of payment. Everyone has agreed to this so they can protect non-defaulting members from the GME short blast. We'll see later why non-members are also incentivized to go along because of the updates to the OCC auction procedures. Okay, so that is borrow rate. That is also trading sideways, and this of course also helps IV, which is building us a gamma ramp very well. We've already covered this in the two sides of the gamma squeeze between Gordon Elite's opinion and Alexis Goldstein's opinion. Why is there no volume? Retail is out of the picture at this point. Retail has already put a lot of their liquid capital into GME, and the price stasis and news cycle has suppressed new retail from jumping in. The MSM is not being manipulated by Citadel or GME shorts. They are being manipulated by all of DTC, OCC, and SEC in order to prevent retail from creating volatility. Why hasn't institutions bought like mad? They are largely part of DTC and OCC, or their trades are cleared by DTC and OCC members so that they have agreed to hold the current price stasis until DTC and OCC can be protected from the GME short fallout by 004 and 801 and OCC 004. Without DTC 2021-004 and 801 in place, Citadel reaches into everyone else's cookie jar to pay for the default. There's another important blocker, the recruitment of non-clearing members as auction bidders. This process is likely already underway right now. BlackRock is not an OCC member, and the second proposed change in 004 would allow non-clearing members to participate in member suspension asset auction. Right? There is an auction of basically just tearing them apart, a scramble for a defaulting member of this committee, and now there is going to non-clearing members can also get in on the action. So now they have also a brand new incentive, which we read down below. Why is the SEC sitting by? They know what's going on. The SRs themselves are DTC and OCC communicating the architecture of the squeeze in broad daylight. DTC and OCC clear every transaction on the market. They are smarter than us, right? We've seen them reveal so many different pieces of the FTD information that we were like, oh, is this not important information? The FTDs that we are seeing cycle through. If they can figure out what's going on with the deep in the money calls, FTDs, and other shenanigans, DTC, OCC, and SEC sure as heck know what's going on because they architected it. Okay. We're getting closer to speculation here. This is getting a little bit dangerous to fully put out into the ether, right? So as of right now, I don't want to say that this is something that is like a major shenanigan between these three entities here, and you guys should also take that with a huge grain of salt. How can no one see what GME shorts are doing? They can. In fact, they are probably working on GME shorts to maintain this price stasis with the tacit understanding that they would all be wiped out in an in a default, but in order to protect the DTC and OCC, they will work together in exchange for perhaps leniency or more likely total lack of punishment and perhaps a legal shield from the Department of Justice in exchange. So when moon, you guys are probably wondering when exactly is the moon. We hate dates on this channel, but let's give some windows instead. So 801 was filed on the 2021 February 23rd, and it's a 60-day window from filing in which it can be put into effect if there are no objections. However, it can be extended another 60 days if the SEC has objections. So currently we have 60 days from the 23rd, so that's 2 months. That's basically April 23rd, and then it can have another 60 days if they have objections. It doesn't seem like they have any complaints yet, so it could be April 23rd or in 2 months after that. And I know I'm buffering the dates because I'm just taking 2 months as the example here. 004 is filed on March 31st. 2021, and it's a 45-day window, and it can also be extended another 90 days. So it's very similar in duration to 801 with just a month off. The idea is that these are calendar days because SEC has a very specific definition for business days and would use that term explicitly. 60 days would be the 24th, okay, very close, and then we would see this start to move between now and then if both 801 and 004 are put into effect. I like that this is a very conservative look into the dates and making them clearly windows instead, right? Because we do have a whole process that, once again, is not just the only indicator for the moon catalyst, but perhaps one of the most important ones. Important edit. SEC has pushed back 801, which is the same as 003. 801 is the advance notice of 003, pushed to May 31st. Who bumped it? Okay, so this is now pushed back. OCC 801 has now been pushed back to May 31st. This is in the link down below, so if you want to know more about that, go ahead and check that out. Won't Citadel and GME shorts keep kicking the can? They won't be able to. Citadel and GME shorts are not suppressing the price. DTC and OCC are collaborating to suppress the price right now. Once they are protected, the borrow rates will go up, margin calls will trigger, and the squeeze is on. Can't DTC and OCC keep doing this forever? The members likely want to resolve this as much as we do. Everyone knows that GME shorts are going to default, so that's why DTC 004, OCC 004, 801 are created. They have already accepted that these defaults as a result of impending scramble to cover, but they are bending the rules at the moment to set up their firewalls. Okay, so you can take a look at this yourselves. What can Citadel and GME shorts do? They can delay 801 by an additional 60 days and 004 by additional 90 days. Why would they do this? To secure their own assets. They would offer the Citadel hiring of Heath Tabbert as the vehicle by which they would do this delay. His job to get the SEC to delay enactment or negotiate the wind down as favorably as possible for Citadel shareholders and leadership. We will be the first to update you if that starts happening right here on this channel. Why doesn't the SEC just make 801 and 004 effective? This is a really great question. They are self-regulatory organizations, both of them. So read these images above carefully. DTC and OCC make up their own rules, approve it on their own schedule. The organizations themselves will make 801 and 004 effective when they are ready. It does not have to be 45 days or 60 days. They can enact it at any time within that period as long as SEC does not object. Why aren't they not effective yet? They think that it's still closed-door negotiations between the members themselves. The short hedge funds have no more negotiating power after this starts, so they need to get everything sorted now. The non-defaulting members are working to recruit and qualify non-clearing members to bid on the assets during the liquidation. So, does this change the strategy for apes? And with the caveat, this is not financial advice. No, buy and hold shares. What you can take away from this is that you're not see significant price movement up or down for the foreseeable future. And until they are in place, you're literally fighting against all of the Wall Street, even the GME long institutions. There is literally no point in buying deep out of the money options until there is a whiff of 004 and 801 getting close to implementation. This is something that we've been covering for a couple of weeks now. We need to get 801 directly in place, and then we'll be able to see some real catalysts starting to move up. Until then, try not to focus on the dates and try not to focus on the price of the stock trading sideways and just having pitiful volume overall. FAQ, I already went through one of the more important pieces of the FAQ, but perhaps you guys are curious about 10, 100K a share. It is not out of the realm of possibility that some shares will exchange at astronomical prices, but it is going to be a mathematical outlier. There's a non-zero chance, but a very, very small one. By human nature, many people are going to be selling before it hits that level. Remember, the greatest prisoner's dilemma that we've ever faced. Reddit is not the universe of GME holders. This group is the most diamond-handed of the apes around, but there are a lot of people who bought into GME who are not here on Reddit. Exactly. This is the point, right? It sounds like everyone's going to be holding until 10 million because this is the sounding chamber of Reddit. You're not likely going to be able to completely expect what people are going to be able to do. What about the dip yesterday morning? Coordinated to counter the good news on Q1 preliminary results. Ended up in our zone. This is from Monday morning. What about that dip to $120 ahead of Q4 earnings? You see a pattern. Why $180 to $200? I don't think this is a fixed position. It can move. Okay. Why doesn't GME just do X? I think SEC and BR are working with GME board to keep this orderly. Everyone is treading lightly right now to prevent this from breaking away to an uncontrollable squeeze. Honestly, there is a ton of excellent Q&A in here, and I am tempted to be able to just like cover this all and especially give my opinion on them. But for now, I want to say thank you guys for reaching the end of this video. Thank you, Maggie Web Design, for pointing this out and voicing what you want to see on these live streams. It's entirely up to you what you guys get to cover and the kind of technical analysis that we do on this show. So make sure that you tune in every single weekday. We do go buzzer to buzzer, bell to bell, and I would love to see you here and ask me a question about what you think we should cover next. For now, but not for forever, I want you guys to take a look at these really cool people, and I will see you all in the money. Peace.